Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Srini here. So if you're new to this channel, you can just go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Here you'll find a lot of free videos on Java, Python, Selenium. So let's get started with today's topic. Today's topic is strings in Python. So if you are a person who is trying to learn programming with Python or new to programming, Python is such a beautiful language. It's very dynamically interpreted language. So you should strongly go ahead and start learning Python if you haven't started yet. And this is also going to give you a lot of advantages if you wish to learn across different fields such as data science, machine learning. So this is going to be very fruitful for you, and even in gaming field, this is widely used. So you can just start with the basics of Python. You can watch my previous tutorials, and then you can come back to this tutorial if you have not gone over the previous ones. So here we are specifically going to talk about strings in Python. So let's get on to the practical part directly. Yeah. So I've created a Python class here, and now we are going to look at the Python with string. How does it work with string? What is the syntax and how does it work? Is it mutable versus immutable? We are going to learn all those aspects here, right? So let's learn first the aspect of mutable versus immutable, right? So in Java, many of you all might be having some knowledge of Java programming languages. Again, a OOPS language, right? So in Java as well, we have learned across strings, right? So in Java, as you would be knowing, strings are immutable, right? In case of Java. Okay, what is immutable versus what is mutable? Mutable means something whose value can be changed. So whatever value could be changed, we would be calling it as mutable, right? And what is immutable? Whose value cannot be changed. Whose value can't be changed. Right? That is the basic definition of mutable versus immutable. Now in Java, if you have not gone over tutorials, you can look at that. So in Java, the reason why strings are immutable is because we don't want to uh, have its security compromised. And we know that different types of connections which we have for socket programming or for network programming, they all use string for passing the credentials, user credentials, right? So we don't want to compromise the security aspect or have it to get hacked. So in case of Python as well as in case of Java, strings are immutable. Here as well, once the value is assigned, you cannot modify the value of a string. If you try to do some operations on the string variable, its actual value cannot be changed, right? So how is that? We're going to look at the syntax part. Let's just create one variable. Let's say string1 equal to Python, right? This is one variable I've taken. Now, this is how you define a variable in Python for a string, right? We don't have to write how we used to write in case of Java. We used to say, okay, string str equal to hi, like that, right? We don't have to define the data type of the variable. It will identify automatically. It's a very dynamically interpreted language. It will identify automatically that this is string since you've put it under double quotes, right? Similarly, you can put it under single quotes as well. So string2 equal to hello. So this also will be identified as a string. That is how Python dynamically interprets, right? So there need not be any confusion. You just have to follow this basic syntax. You can use any of the two, right? Now, what all different things we can do with string, right? We can basically concatenate two strings. We can concatenate two strings. That means we want to add two strings, right? So we can do that in Python. So this is the first thing we're going to look at in with string operations. So let's say we have another string 2 equal to string 1 plus. We are going to use the plus operator to concatenation. I'm going to say hi. So this is going to be our plus is going to be our concatenation operator. Right? Plus is going to be our concatenation operator. So this is how I'm writing the comments. Plus is implying that it's concatenating two strings, right? And I'm going to print that value. Right? And you're going to use this comma to separate the string with actual value. So I'm going to say string2. So this is how you concatenate two strings. Now, what if you want to multiply a string? Repetitive operator. So we have another operator called a repetitive operator that is denoted by asterisk sign. So if I say string 1, right, into 3, this 3 would mean repeat the string 1 by itself 3 times, right? And if let's say I directly want to print this value rather than storing in some variable, I want to print this value. So I will say repetitive string 1 3 times, right? This is how we are going to print the value. So this is the second operator which we can use in string. Now another operator we would be calling it as is the slicing operator. Let's say I want to just extract one portion of the value of the string. So if you see here in Python, as in case of Java, the string first index will start from 0. It will go to 0 to length of the string -1. This is how the index wise the characters of the string are assigned value, the index value. Like this will be 0, y will be at one position, t will be at second position, h third, o fourth, and n fifth. So it basically length of the string here is 6 in this example, and it goes from 0 to 5. So 5 indicating n character, right? So if you want to extract only a particular index, we can do that using the slicing operator. So how you have to use it is that you just have to use like, so I'm going to say string 1 and I'm going to say, let's say 0. So I want to extract the 0th character, right? So I'm going to say string 1 of 0. So this is how you're going to define it, and it is going to extract the value of string 1 of 0 and it will be printed as p. Yeah, so I think there was a extra parenthesis here. Yeah. So this is called as a slicing operator to extract a particular value. And we have one more operator called range slicing operator. Means you can give a range from what particular value to what value you want to get the string values. So we can use this way. So if I say string 1, 0 to 4, right? So here we have to understand that this is somewhat similar to Java. If you have seen Java substring basically. So you might be already have an idea, right? Substring means the last index is not taken into consideration. So similarly in Python, we are not going to include the fourth index. So this means index 0 to 4. So actually this 0, 4 implies 0 to 3. We are going to exclude the fourth index, right? That is the meaning of range slicing. The end value will not be included. It's that value -1. But the front value, the starting value is always going to be included. So let's understand what might be the output here. So string 1, if I say 0 to 4, right? So let's put a comment besides it and understand what might be the output. So string 1 here indicates Python, right? So 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So till here 0, 1, 2, 3. So we are going to get the output as pi th because we are not going to get that o character here. In this case, we are going to get output as p because we are just getting the first character. Repeating the string 3 times using the asterisk operator, we are going to get the output as Python, Python, and Python, right? And in this case, with concatenation, we are going to get string 2 as Python, and just we are going to append this high to the Python string. So these are the different operations we have seen so far, right? Now we have one more thing that is called as, like, we can just get the formatting as it is. Like we can get the, so it's basically called as the R. You're going to use R. So what this particular thing means is that we want to print some escape characters as they are used. So we might have to, let's say, get the file path of a particular file which is stored at some location. So how do we get that? So we can get that using this. So I'm going to show that to you. R and the path, right? So how it has to be done, we just mentioned R. You can enclose within single quotes the entire path. Let's say C drive files.py is my path. So it's going to print C files.py. That is the beauty of this particular operator with R, you can get that exact path printed. You need not worry about the escape character also. Even escape characters will be a part of your print statement, right? Then we have one operator for formatting. Let's say if I want to format something with string or with integer or with other any data types as such, right? I'm going to say string str, right? So I'm going to use this way, and then I'm just going to get the value. Like, so here I'm going to say string one, right? Because you're going to use string one. Yeah, so let's use string one. Yeah, so let's see what is the error here. So we are going to use this way our formatting operator, and here in case of string we are just going to use this modulus sign, and we are going to just get the value outputted, right? So these are the different operators which we have seen within string. So let's run this program and let's just execute it. We'll use Python run. Okay, so it has given us some error. Let's have a look at what is the error. It is saying incomplete format. So you might be observing like, why are we getting this kind of an error? Because we have given the proper syntax, right? We have given the modulus sign, we're giving the value of the string within the parenthesis. But if you just try to understand what it is trying to say, it is saying value error. So the value what you have tried to output within the print statement is not in a proper format. It's in an incomplete format. Because we have to give a Python an indication what is the type of value, because we are trying to print string one, but what is the type? Is it a integer? Is it a double? Is it a float? Is it a boolean? Is it a string? So we have to give a type so that it understands, okay, it's a string, so I have to format it like a string. So that we have to give a indication. So we have already given that it's a value, so this modulus of string one, but what is the type? So we have to give somewhere the type here within this particular double quotes, right? So where we are going to give that value, we are going to get the value here. We are going to say it's of type string. So for string, we're using modulus s as a type. And if you want to give any indication like this with some space, we can give like this. So that is how it's going to map. Modulus s is mapping to modulus string one. And similarly, if you're using an integer, you can use modulus d, and you can give the value of the integer variable, whatever you have created, right? So similarly for double, we can use a different modulus operator. So let's just run this program now with %s, and let's try to see if we have got this error resolved. Yeah, now you can see it's giving us in the proper fashion string str colon Python is the value of the string one. So these are the different operators which are there with string, and you can use all of this to whatever effect we can use in our different Python programs. Now let's look at what are the some of the important operations which you can use within a string. So if I say string one dot, so as we have in case of Java with string also, you can basically use the dot operator, and you can use these different functions which are there. You can use and play around with this, right? So you can play around with these values. So you can use like this dot operator string one dot, and if you use capitalize like as a method, so this is deprecated in Python 3, but in case if you use this method, you're going to get the output with first character as capitalized. So let's just try to run this particular program and see what is the output, right? So we have just completed this. There is no semicolon. This is only in Java. For Python, there is no semicolon at the end. And let's make this first character as small. So this should become like a camel case with first character being as capital after we have outputted the value. So there you go. With string one with capitalize, it has made it as first character as capital. So this is how this particular method is useful. And similarly, you can use other methods which are available in Python. So let's say string one dot, what else we have? So yeah, so let's say in case if you want to find out if it's a particular string is enclosing within itself is having all purely digits, then you can find out using this is digit. So if I say is digit, it's going to give me false because it's not having any digits completely within the string. It might have one or two, but it may not have completely all digits. So is string one all digits, right? This is what this method is going to give us an idea. So let's look at that and let's run this program. So it's going to give us a Boolean value as false because it is not with all digits, right? Let's see something else. What other things we are having here? So we are having index of a substring. So let's say now in Python, I have yt. So I have got yt Python, right? I want to find out what is the index of this particular string, substring within Python, right? So substring yt index, right? So let's try to find out that. So string one dot index of yt. Now, as you can see in Python string, yt is present and it's present at character index. It starts from 0 for p character, then y character will have index 1. So it starts with 1, right? So let's run this program. So as you can see, for substring yt, the index starting is 1. Now, there are so many other methods which you can play around. Let's just see the important and ones which you can cover in this session. We can also practice from your side. If I want to find out the length of the Python string, right? Length of string, let's say string 1. So how is that we're going to find out the length? So for length, the way to find out is a little different. You just have to use len method. And then you can see in the parameter expecting an object. So you can give your object name as string 1 and it will be giving you the length of the string. So let's run this program. So there you go. It is having a length of 6 characters. Now there are a couple of more operators which are also there. So let's just see those. That is in and that is not in. So I'll explain you what are these for in case of string. What are these? So in means if I want to check if a particular substring is a part of the actual entire string or not. Like py is part of string 1 if I want to find out that, right? So how am I going to write that down, right? I'm going to say py in string 1, right? So it's not going to give us as a proper value because it has to be a string, so we have to enclose it within again double quotes. So py, is it a part of string 1? It's going to give me true or false. And there is another operator which is not in. So if I say not in, right, is not part of, same value I'm just trying to give it here. So py in string 1 is going to give us true, py not in string 1 is going to give us false. So let's run this program. So here you go. Py as a part of string 1 is going to give us true, py not a part of string 1 is going to give us false. So you can just play around with the functions with string. So string does play a very important role because you have to use this data type. And yeah, just to explain you, the strings are immutable. Let's take another example. So let's say string 1. So we have already seen that. So string 1, let's say that thing we're just going to say hi, right? We have done this operation. Now if I print string 1 again, right? If I print string 1 again, if it would have been mutable, then the value of string 1 should have got changed, right? But now let's see what is the output it is giving us. So it's not going to give us Python hi, it's just going to give us Python as the output. So let's go to the top. You can see here string 1 is Python. It is not giving us the value concatenated with hi. The reason is because Python is immutable. So actually what would happen is that this would be as another string stored into some kind of an area in memory, but it will not modify your actual value of string 1. It is still going to be holding the value that is Python. So hope you like today's tutorial on Python strings. And so we are going to cover the next topic of methods, or nothing but the methods in our next particular session. So that will be like functions in Python. So that is going to be a very important topic. The reason is because we have to see element by element all the elementary concepts, and then only we can jump on to the concept of class. Then we are going to use these variables and method concept in a class, and then see how that concept of oops works in Python. So stay tuned for that video. And if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, go ahead and subscribe to it. Thank you so much.